Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Halloween Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing 20 new Cricut paper craft projects, all Halloween themed, in 20 days. Today's project are these adorable cut and fold cards, also known as pop-out cards. These are really lovely, and how they work is your Cricut does single line cuts along the front, and then you gently bend the shapes back to make a 3D effect. They're really simple to make, and best of all, they fold completely flat for posting. If you haven't already signed up for the Halloween Craft Countdown, then head to craftwithsarah.com/HCC to find out how to get the designs for free. If you have already signed up, here's how to get the designs for these cards. If you've already registered your free ticket, check for an email from me with subject line Halloween Craft Countdown ticket information, or any of the other emails from me that you have been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down this page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/HCC bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files and projects from the Halloween Craft Countdown. All downloads come in zip folders. You will need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to upload the SVG files into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space and start a new project, and then go into Upload over on the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the files on your computer, or you can drag and drop them in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the download folder, and then within there is another folder called Cut Files. Go into there, and then you've got 3 separate folders for the 3 different types of files that are included with the download. For Cricut Design Space, you need the ones in the folder called SVG files. So double click in there, and then you can find all 5 of the pumpkin cards. For this video, I'll show you how to make the pumpkin design with the hat, which is number 3, but it's exactly the same for any of these designs. Once again, make sure you choose the folder called SVG files, and you know if you're in the right one because all of the file names start SVG. So let's drag and drop that pumpkin hat one in, and it will look a little bit strange on this screen. You'll barely be able to see it, but that's completely fine. That's what it's supposed to look like. So press Upload, and then it will appear in your recent uploads. So I'm going to click on it to get that green border around, and then press Add to Canvas. You'll find once you do this that some parts of the designs will fill in with colour, and that's okay. That's just showing you the shapes which are going to be cut out from your cardstock. Let's make this a bit bigger so you can see. How these files work is that some of these shapes will be completely cut out to show the colour of the card underneath, but all of the rest of it, which is the pieces we'll be folding to make the pop-out effect, are just done with single line cuts with the Cricut, and we'll then be bending these bits backwards along these little ends of the cut line to create that pop-out effect. In order for this to work, we first need to add the design onto a shape of cardstock, which it will then get cut out from. Decide what size card you want to make first. I'm going to be using a pre-made 6x6 inch card. But for this video, in case you don't have any pre-made cards, I will show you how you can design your own card blank in Design Space too. So let's make this a bit smaller and just hide them out the way for now. I'm actually just going to click this eye next to it in the layers panel to hide it completely. To make your own card blank in Design Space, go into Shapes, and then when it's loaded, choose a square. Let's say you wanted to make a 5x7 inch card. As I said, my card blanks are 6 inches, but you can't actually make a 6-inch card on Design Space. So I'm using pre-made ones that I've bought from a craft store. And the reason you can't make a quite 6 by 6 inch card, unless you've got one of the really, really long Cricut mats and some long card, in which case you could do it, is because the maximum width you can cut on a regular cutting mat is 11.5 inches, which would make your card blank 5.75 inches on each side, which is almost 6 inches. So let's go for it. That would mean that my width needs to be 11.5 because that's double the size of that card front. Click on the padlock above the width and the height box to open it up, and then I'll type 11.5 into the width, and then the height will be 5.75 inches. I'll make this white, and then we need to add a score line down the middle. If you don't have a scoring tool on your Cricut machine, then you can leave this bit out. You'll just need to be careful when you fold your card blank in half that you get it exactly in the middle. If you do have either the scoring stylus on the Explore machines or the Cricut Maker machines, or the scoring wheel if you have a Maker or Maker 3, then here's how you can add a score line. Go into Shapes again and select the score line. And resize it to the height of your card, so mine's 5.75. Press Select All to select both that score line and our card blank, and then go into Align and then Center. That's put the score line exactly in the middle of the card, but we're not quite finished yet, because if we were to click Make It Now, you see it's put that score line on a different mat to our card, which is not what we want. Press Cancel, and then to make sure that doesn't happen, press Select All again, and then down the bottom of the Layers panel, press Attach. That tells the Cricut that we want it to do this score line in the middle of the rectangle. So now when I click on Make It, you see it's got that score line where it's supposed to go. Remember, if you're using a pre-made card blank or you want to make one without your Cricut machine, then you don't need to do the step to make this, but you will need to do the next steps that I'm about to show you. Let's make some mats and layers for our pumpkin. Go into Shapes and choose another square. We're going to cut this from a bright colour of card or holographic card or mirror card so that it will sit behind our pumpkin and show all of that lovely colour through the cut lines. I like to make this 1/2 inch smaller than my card blank, which for this one would be 5.25 inches on each side. And then I'll make it a nice bright orange colour. Next, we need to make the card that the pumpkin will actually be cut out from. So I'll press this one and then click Duplicate over on the top. Change the colour to white or whatever colour you want, but I like doing the top bits from white because it really makes that undercolour stand out. Then make this slightly smaller, and for this one I like to go 1/4 inch smaller. So in this instance it will be 5 inches, and then put that in the middle. So you're going to see a little bit of border around the edge, and also you'll see some pops of that colour in the middle. We need to put our pumpkin on, so click the eye icon next to it again if you'd hidden it, and then because it's at the bottom at the moment, we need to go into Arrange, Bring to Front, and now resize it so that it fits into the middle of the top square, so the smallest square we made. To make sure it's exactly in the middle, click the pumpkin layer in the Layers panel on the right, and then press Shift on your keyboard and choose that smallest square. Go into Align and then Center. Now I know that's perfectly in the middle, which means it's just going to look really nice and balanced. Once again, we need to tell the Cricut that we want it to do all of these cuts out of this square. So I've still got those 2 layers selected, and I'm going to press Attach. Now you see this has changed, so it's not showing that green colour through anymore. Again, that's absolutely normal. That is what is supposed to happen. So don't worry about that, but it will change how it looks when you click Attach. This is now ready to be cut out. So when you click Make It, this is how it should look. You've got the card front, the card blank, if you're making one, along the top. And then because I've made this the same colour, it's showing on the same mat. And you should see your square with the pumpkin in the middle. If your pumpkin is on a different mat or it's next to the square, that means your attaching hasn't worked. So go back and try again and make sure you attach the pumpkin to the square. And then I've got this one here, which is my bright colour. You can change the paper size by going in here. It's actually not going to let me change it to A4 on this one, as my card blank is bigger than I would be able to cut from A4. When you're happy with how everything is looking, go ahead and cut it out with your Cricut machine, and then I'll show you how to make these adorable little Halloween pumpkin cut and fold pop-out cards. Here's my design cut out, and you can see those little bits peeking through the holes. And then if I hold this up to the camera, you can see just about one of those cut lines in there, which is what we're going to fold outwards. I'm actually going to leave it on that purple so that you can see a bit easier what I'm doing. So all you want to do is just go into these cut lines and then just gently use your fingernail to sort of flick it upwards so that it stands up. So there's that one to kind of show you. Sorry, it's a little bit out of focus. Focus camera. There we go. No, that's not going to do it. I'll try again when I've done a few more. So I'm just going in and flicking it. So we're not actually trying to bend the card, so not fold it completely. It's just a little gentle encouragement for it to stand up in all of these places. And you can go as big or as small on these cut lines as you want to. Probably would have made sense to start at the bottom of the hat. There we go. So I've done those bits on the hat now. Have I got one more? Oh, I've got one more. There. And you see, I hold it up and hope it focuses. You're now going to see that purple card in the gaps, and it's got some lovely dimension to it, but it will still fold flat when it goes in an envelope and then sort of pop out once it's opened up. You just need to do the same now on all of the other cuts. And you can refer to the photographs of the finished card in your download folder if you're not quite sure where you should be folding. And some of it goes in different directions. For example, this buckle in the middle of the hat, I folded up both of those sides inwards instead of the hat, which is sort of folded downwards. And then got the brim of the hat, which is going to come slightly upwards. That's just a little tiny bend on those corners. So some of it will be more obvious than others. There we go. And then for my pumpkin, I'm going to fold that side in and then do the same on that one. And then this side of the pumpkin, it's got two bits to fold. So let's do both of those. There we are. And then just looking at where the cut lines are, I've got his nose left, which is going to be one folding to the left and one to the right. I'm just going to pinch them together. And there we go. So it's really quick and easy to get a really cool sort of 3D effect. And then once you've folded it all up, it's time to stick it to the coloured card underneath. I'm going to use glue, but if you wanted to, you could use double-sided tape. Make sure when you're adding your glue or your tape that you don't put any glue on any of the bits that are folded, otherwise they won't fold out anymore because they'll stick to your base card. but you can put the glue on the bits that are going to stay flat. So on mine, that's this kind of inside bit of the pumpkin. And then put this in the middle. There we go. And then it's time to put this onto my card. And as I said at the beginning, I'm using a pre-made card. So I just need to fold it. And then you could glue or double-sided tape it in the middle. But I like to use 3D foam squares just to, pop it out a little bit more. So I'll turn it upside down. Here are my foam squares. And then for these cards, I tend to use my foam squares whole without cutting them smaller, as I want it to stick really, really well. And as well as putting the foam around the outside and in the corners, you want to put some in the middle to make sure it sticks firmly, because if there's nothing in the middle, it will dome downwards and it just won't look as good. So a couple of extra foam pads is definitely worth it for a better finished appearance. Just pulling these off. There we go. And now I can stick this in the middle of my card blank. Oops, or just, drop it anywhere. I'm really bad at getting things straight, especially on camera. Okay. And there we go. That's my finished card in hardly any time at all, but it's such a lovely effect. And included in your download folder, there are 4 other cards. You get 5 in total. So there's this one. You've got this one here of this little cheeky pumpkin. There is a bit more of an evil pumpkin here, and his eyes come out. So he's really, really spooky. Then there's a love pumpkin with little heart-shaped eyes. And finally, the most sort of complex design of them all is this one, which is 3 little pumpkins having a party together. This one is quite difficult to fold. So if you're having trouble getting your nails, don't fold it with your nose, your nails into these little cut lines, then you could use a thin little Cricut spatula or something similar, maybe even a weeding tool to help fold them out. So there we go. So here's our 5 designs. And one other thing you can do is, instead of just using coloured card underneath them, is to make it even more sparkly with some holographic card. This is a different design which is available in my SVG shop, and I've put holographic pink card under here, and it gives this wonderful rainbow effect. And I just think it's one step further to making an even more exciting card. And similarly with this one, if I hold it into the light, you can see all of those rainbows coming across from that holographic card. So if you've got holographic or metallic or mirror card, these greetings cards is a wonderful way to use it. And this design is also available in my SVG shop, or you can get both of these and loads more of the pop-out effect cards for free in Craft Clubhouse. If you don't know what Craft Clubhouse is, it's my SVG club for paper crafters. It's a one-time fee, and that gives you access to hundreds of layered paper craft projects included inside Craft Clubhouse. And you get new designs every single month at no extra cost. And that's not just greetings cards. There are hundreds of layered SVGs. There are alphabets in there. There are some vinyl SVGs in there too. And there are loads and loads of other goodies. So if you want to find out a little bit more about Craft Clubhouse, head to craftwithsarah.com/clubhouse. But for now, let's finish up with our wonderful Halloween pumpkin cut and fold greetings cards. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make these Halloween cut and fold pop-out cards. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut and crafting tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 3 of the Halloween craft countdown. Bye!